Happy December, everyone! In the spirit of this season, this month we are covering the truest gospel from a galaxy far, far away. Thanks to Rogue One coming out December 16th, it's Canon Star Wars month. And what better way to celebrate the canon than by covering the best canon ongoing comic right now that wasn't ongoing. So massive spoilers for the 2015 Darth Vader comic incoming. You've been warned. On with the show. Star Wars 13. R2-D2 stands by his fallen master, being a ballsy little droid, even getting into a bleeping contest with BT. Seriously, he's basically shouting obscenities into the face of a homicidal droid. It's kind of awesome, and sort of a shame it's only in bleeps, cause I'm seeing a "come at me bro" coming from R2. R2 extends his little cattle prod taser thing to try and scare him, but BT pulls out all of his firepower, aiming it point blank at R2. R2 then begins to speed away as BT unloads on him. Wah, wah, wah. Meanwhile, Han and Chewie are flying around the quadrant where the rebels think Luke's X-Wing crashed. They then see the explosions of BT trying to blow away R2 and set down the ship. Dr. Aphra and Trip Zero are walking through a rocky outcropping, with Luke over Trip Zero's shoulder, when Han shouts a warning with a sniper rifle aimed at Aphra. There's some banter, but Aphra tells Trip Zero to go into a cave until she's done with him. However, Chewbacca steps from the rocks next to them, ripping off Trip Zero's arm. Aphra fires at Han, Han fires at Aphra, as they both find cover. Back at the rebel base, Leia is suiting up to join the next wave of reinforcements, giving shoot-to-kill orders. But enough about that. Luke is beginning to wake up as R2 rushes past him. Behind, BT has his flamethrower out, toasting R2-D2's shiny metal ass before Luke kicks BT over. Kinda like a dustbin. Hilarious. But BT uses his small thruster rockets to begin to fly, bringing out his big guns again, and suddenly Luke and R2 are running away together. Chewie is beating up on Trip Zero, but Trip has a secret up his sleeve, or rather, in his finger. Trip Zero uses a hypodermic of Mandalorian xenotox hidden in his middle finger, knocking Chewie out. As for Han and Aphra, both of them are actually taking cover under hives of wasp worms. So they basically do the logical thing and shoot it down at the same time. Suddenly they're both running around covered in these wasp worms, with Aphra getting another Indiana Jones nod with "Wasp worms, why did it have to be wasp worms?" Or, in a female voice, because Dr. Aphra's a chick. But slapstick strikes as they run into each other head on, both being knocked out. Over with Trip Zero, he's ready to start vivisecting Chewie. Yet, as he's about to, a blue blur cuts off Trip Zero's other arm, and then Luke slams his lightsaber into Trip Zero's chest. So basically, now the good guys are able to group up, though BT and Trip Zero are not done yet. However, while Trip Zero talks and talks and talks, R2 faces against BT again, this time shooting some oil into his face. BT starts spraying fire everywhere, missing our fleeing good guys and bringing down the rocks around them, trapping Aphra, Trip Zero, and BT. Meanwhile, Princess Leia and her reinforcements arrive at the battlefield. Over the comms we hear the cries of Vader slaughtering the first wave, which, if you missed last issue, was an entire army, including tanks. Through the swirling sands kicked up by the total assault, Vader and Princess Leia finally come face to face, with a "Good evening, Princess," from Vader. Okay, major elephant in the room on this. This is Jason Aaron's first real big run with the characters from Darth Vader, and it's not bad, but the big thing about this comic is that there's an awkwardly high amount of comedy in it. While I know that Jason Aaron sort of plays fast and loose with the Star Wars ongoing, it's something I mentioned in the first issues I did on it when it originally launched. But when we see these characters handled a specific way, the more wah-wah-wah humor that gets presented just feels like it betrays the characters. But with that said, the humor can be legitimately funny at times. Like when R2 is being a feisty SOB until BT shows off his firepower, and then R2 just books it. That was legitimately funny. By the way, I have the panel up on my Facebook if you're interested in what that's supposed to look like. But when you have Han versus Aphra, ending with them both being under waspworm hives, and then knocking each other out by headbutts, that was just too Three Stooges for me to really be taken seriously, which really hurt the other part of this comic, where we've got Leia going full general and wanting Vader's head, as well as that pretty epic meeting ending. So while this was mainly just a fun fight between our bad but likable Vader cast and the plucky Star Wars main characters, what will tomorrow bring as Leia and Vader officially face off? Let's find out tomorrow. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. As always, if you agree or disagree with me, or just want to add your own comments, theories, or criticisms, leave a comment below. Don't forget to check out my other channels, ComicSins and The Archivist, links on screen. I also want to give a huge shout out to Star Wars Explained and Star Wars Theory. I may be talking about my views on Darth Vader comics this month, but both of these channels have been spectacular when dealing with the whole of Star Wars, both canon and legends. Links also on screen. And finally, my credits song is lifted from Taylor Davis's epic Star Wars medley. Check out her channel where she plays some epic violin. And as always, stay golden, Inklings.